The purpose, the point of a dramatic show, which is used as a vehicle of social criticism, is to involve an audience, to show them wherein their guilt lies, or at least indeed their association. But when you're talking about a bunch of cavalrymen knocking off a bunch of poor redskins and putting them into a reservation, the audience need to have no association, certainly no guilt. How many Indians have they pushed into a reservation? But if indeed you talk about a denial of a man putting his garbage can next to yours, whether he's fought in Vietnam or wherever, by virtue of his color, now you're getting into a universal guilt, which they should feel, or at least in part understand.
Well, hopefully everybody had a chance to get some fellowship and some church. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and leave your comments. If there's ways I could improve my video vlogging, or even if there's any ways that you want to encourage me, or if you want to make complaints or say anything. But I titled this vlogging, Let President Trump Go. Because the fact of the matter is that in spite of all the evidence, and in spite of everything that's really needing to be investigated, there is no investigation. So it really seems to me like if Mitch McConnell says, oh, we can't go through with this investigation of the election because there might be a civil war, it's like totally pandering and catering to one group over another group, which is not really fair. And like I've said about the good is gone, I really want to name my channel maybe Good is Gone. But there is good in spite of everything. We know that God is in control. God's ways are not our ways. And even the other cliches about God working in mysterious ways and all that stuff. And if you're in fellowship at a good, healthy church, you will realize that what happens in this world is really proof that this world is not our own. We're just passing through where we are pilgrims. And even if you read like Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan, or even a lot of other good readings, you will come to the understanding and conclude that everything that happens is really not to be compared to our ultimate reward. And our reward is in heaven by faith, because we know the scripture teaches that by faith we please God. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So we have to live a life based on faith. And our faith is based on facts. I don't really need to get into all of that right now, but if you even look deep and read the word and even look at other historians, you'll come to the same conclusion that Christianity, and while Christ existed, Christ walked on this earth. He was perfect. He lived the life that we couldn't in a time that was nearly 2,000 years ago. So with that in mind, we got to press forward. And that's why I'm calling this segment, or this vlogging or whatever, Good is Gone, and Let President Trump Go. And in the very idea, I call him Uncle Don. I think any president at the time, I call them Uncle, because we are supposed to be one family. So I'm willing to call Uncle Biden or Uncle Joe, whatever. But it's not in the same like affection as like, you know, how I feel about Uncle Don, because Uncle Don, if you really look at his beginning, to where he is at now or whatever. It's a hero's journey. Look into the hero's journey. I'm going to try to get enough information together to explain what the hero's journey is and how Uncle Don is a good example of the hero's journey. His beginning may not be like everyone has a different beginning, and that's something that we need to really understand, that everyone has different lives and the way that they are brought into this world. You know, it's like my family was just, I don't even know if my family was really middle class, but you know, that was the 80s and the 90s. I grew up mostly in the 90s, and that's where I really kind of developed my opinion, because Christ found me somewhere between 89 and 91. And that's when my life was changed. That's when my life was really sold out for Christ. But it's like the seed and the different soils, you know. Maybe my soil wasn't that rich in nutrients, but maybe it was. I don't know. But anyways, just to stick again to this video about letting Don go. Uncle Don is going to be out, even in spite of a lot of evidence. It's going to take a miracle, and only divine intervention will really get the glory. God will get the glory. And again, I want to emphasize the very idea of this world's not our own again. And we got to have hope in the right things and put to the side those things that are not really getting our mindset in the right direction. So with all that said, even though maybe my thoughts were a little incoherent, I hope that you will understand the one thing out of everything is Christ. Our life is Christ. When people ask, what's the meaning of life? The meaning of life. Why are we here and all this stuff? To glorify God and to enjoy God. God gave us the universe. God gave us the stars, the planets. God gave us the moon. God gave us all this as a, this is our nursery. This is our nursery. Our nursery is earth, and we are babies that are maturing and growing to the ultimate cultivation of history. This is the Armenian flag. So I guess the guy that crashed here was Armenian. Well, maybe I guess technically he still is Armenian. But I don't know. Supposedly when you die, you don't really have your I don't know, your identifications are a little bit different.